underground show. Lights go down, thunder pounds when we hit the sound. Like a trending tag, you can't stop the swag. Who wants some? Better come prepared. I'll be there, and when we air, bet black I'll be a household name. Like we broke the chain, sitting in a hot seat, pushing back in a black tee, ain't cutting no slack. This'll be the year that we drop them facts. 2024, anything goes. Speak your truth, just know the code. Consequences given for living, the fence is too high. Ain't trying to fail. Get a plan, make it top shelf. Look at what came in the mail. A deal and some brand new gear. Blackout crew, and we set for years. Stack of comments with no fears. Truth for liars, truth for saints. Make a crowd wanna chat for days. Get back home, things explode. Well, not really, we've been on that road. Before you tuned in, now it's all in place. Thoughts at 1,000 miles per pace. Hello, network, let your mind breathe. Believe there's always more. Pull up. You can't stop the sway. Who wants somewhere to come prepared? I'll be there, and when we air, bet black I will be a household name. Claim we broke the chain, sit in a hot seat, push it back. In a black tee, ain't cutting no slack. This'll be the year that we drop the facts. 2024, anything goes. Speak your truth, just know the code. Consequences given for living. The fence is too high, ain't trying to fail. Get a plan, make it top shelf. Think of what came in the mail. A deal is a brand new deal. Blackout crew, we was at for years. Stack the comments with no fears. Truth for liars, truth for saints. Make the crowd wanna chat for days. Get back home, things explode. Well, not really, we better that roll. Before you tuned in, now it's all in place. Thoughts at 1,000 miles per pace. Hello, that word, let your mind breathe. Believe there's always more. Pull up.
Right. Go and pull up. What's going on, guys? Got myself here, Messiah, my boy King Creole. How you doing, brother?
Go pull up. What's up, man?
So, oh man. Here we go again, right?
The same old 76 said my grandma.
Right. But you know what? I think the blessing in disguise is I probably get to say, you know, with this topic, for this person, I'm done. I am so done. I'm over it.
As you should, mister.
I'm over him. Who's him? Well, shit, you know him. P-Dubs Arcade. Patrick. Over it. Completely over it. And
why are you over it? What happened?
Well,
talk to me. I'm not doing nothing. So
this will be one thing if this was an isolated incident, but as you and I know personally, this isn't an isolated incident, especially when it comes to said person. I'm over it for many reasons, but I will say what happened. So as you know, about what week or so ago, myself, Messiah, King Creole, Don, Prince Malcolm, we're all
you're in the Matrix,
aka Carl.
There you
go. Great guy, great man. We had a great stream, zero drama. We talk, and I don't know about you, but it's the most I heard him ever speak. I think he had a great time. I got the same feedback from many folks that we all had a great time, and they all had a great time watching. Sadly, that was spoiled when a individual decided to come through the comics and word, for word, spell out the N word with the hard ER at the end. And it was supported by this, I'm not going to mention this druggie, but this low life that people know of, that all should have an issue with, laughing about the situation, and basically come out in full support. And though that we've had these incidents in the past and stuff, I brought this up in our group, and right out the gate, Michael B stood with support and was like, hey, that's not cool. I'm going to bring this up during one of my shows. And the first time it didn't go down, and he apologized. I didn't ask for it. He insisted and wanted to say something on it. He's like, no, I'm going to say something. So not only did he mention it once, he mentioned it twice. He mentioned it on actually maybe 3 times. He mentioned it in like a gaming thing that he was doing, playing pinball. Then he mentioned it like one time on his show. And then he mentioned it, I believe, a third on the Super Game Room Dudes. And he's like, hey guys, I just want to take a moment, take a break, and go, hey, what happened wasn't cool. We support, XYZ, good stuff, right? And lo and behold, you got this guy, Dubs, who goes defensive mode. And I'm going to explain why it's a defensive mode. And he basically detracts 100% from what Michael B was stating. And the reason why it was defensive is because people don't know that a friend had a personal conversation with him before even Michael, was offering, and was like, hey, like, this happened on your friend's show. Oh, do you want me to remove one?
Yep, remove the one with the
Red
Creole logo. Yep.
Okay. Mic check. Can't hear you on the other one, dude. On this one.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you on the one on the red. This new one that I brought in with your face isn't.
Oh yeah, I was using the app. You can go ahead and take the one off the.
This one. Mic check. I'll leave them all up for now so I can finish the story up. And all right, let me start because this guy.
My bad. Sorry.
All right, can you hear me now?
Yep.
All right. So full circle back. This cat detracts and goes, well, despite what other people think, I went to Carl, and Carl only said, to report it. Now, mind you, what I was saying was prior to all this, he's having a personal conversation with said person, right? And they brought this up. They were like, let me guess, you asked Carl, right? Versus she's like, why would you have to ask in order to do the right thing? There was 4 black men on a show. One of them happens to be your co-host. And instead of and I, despite our current relationship, friendly or not, Dubs, have a relationship with you. We talk. Call it what you want. Associates, just back and forth banter, whatever. But we talk. We communicate. The fact that you feel you don't have to speak up is ridiculous. fucking 100% ridiculous. And in the fact that you needed to go on the fucking defensive mode because you look like a piece of shit and project your own bias when all Michael B was doing and saying, hey, we got to do better. You could see where he took it to heart and got defensive. But yet prior to this, Dubs can do a Rexer bash stream and invoke Retro Lizard during this. Well, last I checked, Retro Lizard is the big boy, right? This is exactly what he said about Carl. He says, well, I asked Carl, XYZ, Carl's a big boy. Now, I don't know about you, King Creole, but since when's that term ever cohesively a good term to be said, especially towards black men?
You know, being from the South, it's never good to use that word.
Right. Because last I checked, he's a fucking man.
Yeah. You don't use that.
He's a fucking man.
There's certain things you just don't say.
It's disgusting. And the fact that this motherfucker thought he could take pop shots at myself and my fucking friend with despite what other people think. Motherfucker, I was a victim too. In regards to being called the slur. And so were you.
Yeah.
If we were ever on Super, what he's saying is if we're ever on fucking Super Game Room, dudes, he's going to need fucking Carl's permission because he's bitch made. In order to say, hey, don't do that. You're not trustworthy, dude. Nobody in this space, especially minority, should be coming through if that's how you are going to be.
Yeah, you should have asked the whole panel. This is what
I didn't even have to ask, man.
I mean, but
you didn't have to ask. I mean, that's just retardedness.
Benefit of the doubt, he asked, why do you only go to Carl? You know, and I love Carl, but he wasn't the only one on that show. So if Carl said, I'm good, but 2 or 3 other people say no, they're not good, and they were offended by it, regardless, he should address everybody. That's my opinion.
Right. So to quickly summarize again, so Michael B stood up, right, for what should have been done while they're on Super Game Room, dudes. He saw what happened to Carl. And he chose to say something directly, publicly, and without hesitation.
Yeah.
And the so-called leader, because we know that's his self-proclaimed shit, he didn't thank Michael B. He didn't stand beside him. Instead, the first thing out of his mouth was, people in 2025 are just determined to find something to be offended about at all occasions.
Yeah, I disagree with that.
Oh, really?
With that.
We know the context behind what he's saying, right? Before he got into this spill.
People were scared in 85. If you want to talk about 2025, let me tell you something, Dubs. Because I doubt you being from Chicago, you seen what I seen. I seen live in person in regalia Ku Klux Klan in 1992. Okay? So you can't tell me what people in 2025 and this and that. People were afraid. Case in point, my father was born in 1951. They were afraid to speak out. Why? Because they would get killed. You ain't from my area. My church was firebombed by the Klan. Okay?
My mother witnessed cross burning across the street from her in front of our yard. Cross burnings. Yep.
So you don't know just because it's 2025, people ain't scared no more. So
exactly,
Mr. Chicago, be thankful you didn't grow up the way me, Mensa, and other people from the deep South, plantation country, had the experience. Okay? So be thankful you're ignorant to that. But no, it's not 2025. People just not afraid of getting killed in their front yard. people not afraid of losing their job for saying something. So don't use 2025. Wrong is wrong. It don't matter what era you in. Now he's saying people these days are determined. Nah, brother. People are speaking up, just like women were afraid in 1985 to talk about a man harassing them on the job.
Exactly.
You seen Mad Men. These were managers. Now, these women are empowered to speak up. So they calling you lame-os out, saying you raped them, saying you said this. All you lames that was had to take something and couldn't get it on your own and didn't get called out for it back then, you're getting called out for it now. So I don't want to hear this. That burns me up when I hear somebody say, oh, well, it's 2025. Nah, brother. People just not afraid no more. This been happening.
Exactly.
And I digress. I'm going to land the plane there.
Right? So once again, Carl's a big boy. That wasn't support. That was a dismissal. Once again, that was not support, Dubs. That was a dismissal. It's a subtle way of saying, we don't need to deal with this. He can handle it. But here's the truth. Carl didn't ask to handle it, right? Because he didn't have to.
Yep.
Because he shouldn't have to. He shouldn't have to ask or beg or plead or mention these things. These are natural human things that people should do. But guess who did say, you know what? No, not my fucking friend. Michael B.
Yeah, I gotta respect that. Yeah, I respect that.
So like I said before on the last show, Michael offered on his own. Michael did it. Once again, Michael B. Thank you.
Let's be truthful, mister. If we talking about numbers and who got something to lose, I would think Michael B has way more to lose.
He's got the most.
He's got way more numbers
out of all of them.
I'm just saying
because it's because if Michael was truly about numbers and stuff, he probably knows he's got enough low lives that would rather go on side B than side A. You know,
right?
He doesn't care if he lost those audience. So respect. Fucking respect. You know,
I mean, hey, numbers don't lie.
I have little back and forths about arcade topics and shit like that. But when it came down to do what was morality correct, that was Michael. Dubs, no. So let's ask. When someone finally speaks up, why is it the leader, I'm putting up air quotes, first instinct is to shut it down?
And from what I heard, he said, well, nobody defended me against Rexer. That is nowhere near the same, bro. Rex ain't call you an N-word. Rex ain't say nothing racist to you. Everything Rexer is saying is subjective. That's his opinion. Right. You know it ain't true. Why does anybody need to defend you massively against Rexer when he's saying lies according to you? You saying what he's saying is all lies, right? Y'all boys. I can see if he called you a derogatory name, then and Mensa have done it. I have done it. We have rode for many of you all in this space. But yet we ask for one little thing and everybody goes, huh, interesting. Interesting to me. Right. Only a few people stood up.
Right. It's freaking insane. 1 second. Put this up. Exactly. And that's a good segue. Great segue. So here's where it becomes undeniable. That same co-host is silent when his own team was hurting. He had no issues calling out Rexer and Kev Brett. He accused them of gatekeeping.
Man, that's just boys. I don't want to hear that.
For not covering Retro Lizard. Called them stupid. Went on a full rant about how they don't really support the community. Rexer and Kev Brett don't support the community. But yeah.
You believe that, mister? That's a play. I've heard Rexer call out Dubs and say, hey, what's up, buddy?
Right.
Come on, man.
But he don't support the community, yet here we are. I guess we're not the community. I guess our faces aren't the community, because I know I actually and other person actually asked Dubs for his support. And you know what that person got a kickback and saying? Well, I didn't get support when Rexer was coming for me.
And Dubs, hey,
Wow.
you've been accused. Hey, you talk about Rexer and Kevgrat, but people. Let me be real, Mister, for a second.
Yeah.
People, I'm gonna tell the truth. I don't give a damn about this damn home arcade scene, really. When I get on these shows with Mister, when I was working for John, I met John multiple times. I was trying to help a friend out. I had John's cell phone number. So when he asked me to do his show, that was me doing him a favor, really helping him out. That wasn't me trying to get famous, because I got a 9 to 5. I don't need this. I buy whatever arcade system I want. Not bragging. I'm just saying I don't need no views. I don't need no YouTube channel. None of this. So people are afraid to say when you're wrong, Dubs, because you said that you are the mayor, self-proclaimed, of home arcade. So if you're new to the scene and you really care about this stuff, are you going to say something about the mayor? No. But I don't care. I'm not scared. Ain't nothing you can do.
Exactly.
That's going to stop me. I've heard from others about you being upset. So let me go down the list.
Well, I mean, I could remember somebody blacklisting you in the space prior and admitting to it.
Yeah. I heard you was upset, Dubs, for not being a part of a movie. I heard you was upset with many content creators in the scene to where they don't like you. And they've told me that personally. Why don't you try to be more humble? Instead of saying you this and that, and you just have this arrogance about you. Regardless, Carl is on your show. So you shouldn't even have to ask Carl how he felt. Speak up for your boy on your show. But apparently, you just have Carl on your show for a reason. You don't value his opinion.
I really don't think he does.
No, he doesn't, because I rarely hear Carl speak. And Carl didn't say this to me. I've watched you guys' show for years. And Carl, you have to ask him for his opinion. Why don't you ask Carl about what he want to talk about? And then build a segment or something around him. Everything has to run through you.
Sound off in the comments when we stream with Carl if you believe that's as much as you've heard him speak and be happy on the show. Because I had at least 5 to 7 comments plus, personal messages going, wow, I never knew Carl had all these opinions. Wow. I never heard him speak so much. That was an awesome show.
Pull up Clausen's comment about it would be cool if Carl would speak more.
Right.
Pull that out and put that on the screen.
Now, now, how many people on the Super Game Room dudes know that somebody that I'm speaking to now was courted to be a permanent member on Super Game Room dudes?
Yeah.
Oh. Is that a revelation to you guys?
Yep.
Whoa. Was someone getting replaced or was someone getting augmented?
Like I said, Mister, hey, a lot of these people, they fake friends, bro. And it's clear. Because Dubs, you seem to be the center of all the mess. We talk about Zohar.
I see. I'm gonna get to that part. Remind me
talk about
that, because that one I'm gonna finish with in a way because that one I'm gonna drop a bomb on that one.
And you thinking that me and Mensa is all, man? Come on, we got nothing to gain from this. This is people telling us that you said this, you were upset about that, but people are afraid to tell you to your face. Now, that ain't my problem. They should tell you to your face. Just like I would tell you to your face, and I'm telling you now, you should have reached out to the whole panel. You don't say Carl's a big boy. regardless if he's a big boy, then you should speak up for your co-host and have the whole team that was on the show with Carl. You should address everybody and say, hey guys, hey, I saw that in the chat. You know, I'm going to address this. But you said you talked to Carl. I'm done talking on that. Carl is not the only, he was not by himself on that show.
Exactly.
You still got everybody's opinion. Carl might have said, don't press the line. But you might have had 2, 3, 4, 5 people saying, yeah, say something. Who knows? But you had no conversation. But yet, I'm sorry, Mister, but I'm
no, I know it's a passionate topic because he's completely insensitive and was a jerk on it, you know, and he's going to hear people's
he was a complete jerk on this
because to have a fucking personal conversation with this motherfucker and then to go and take pop shots where he thought it slipped through, because even the people on the panel were completely unaware that this motherfucker was taking direct pop shots at 2 people on what he was saying directly by being passive aggressive. And I don't fucking appreciate it. Well, I'm gonna play this real quick.
Oh yeah, play that. Now I'm gonna talk about Clausen's comment about how Carl's hilarious.
Can you hear this?
Huh?
Can you hear that?
No, you might have to press play. Hold on a second. Yeah, I don't hear it. No, I don't hear it.
Damn it. Hold on. Make sure.
It might have something to do with that browser.
No, you're right. Fucking A. Hold on. Let me
Well, while you figure that out, I'm gonna address.
Yeah.
So when me and Gunther would do the show for John, we had conversations about, okay, Gunther would tell me, so you're passionate about arcade, the history, like old school. We're gonna build this segment for you to talk about that. Why not do that with Carl? Right. Because it seemed to me that he wants to talk about the old school scene.
That's all he wants. He doesn't want none of the drama. So of course he's not.
Let him address that. Have a segment for him to talk about that, and y'all shut up.
Right.
You know, let him talk about that, and then you chime in on your memories or whatever the case may be. We don't want to hear about iconic. See, all this stuff was cool during COVID because we were all bored. We couldn't go nowhere. But, bro, ain't nobody buying no iconic machine. We tired of talking about how terrible the 60 buttons is on arcade one-ups. Man, find something else. I'm over it. The whole thing, personally.
I'm going to press play on this shit. Let's see.
All right, go ahead.
You hear it?
When you look at their channels, they've never, ever covered that guy's products before themselves. Do you have any idea how stupid you look? You morons. You go look at Rex and look at Kev's channel. Not a single fucking video about Retro Lizard's products, about his mods, about his builds, about his reviewing his products. Nothing. Not a single mention ever.
Is
all the streams, they would sit there for an hour and a half.
I thought he was a big boy
about arcade one-up products. And they could have been doing streams talking about, hey, Retro Lizard's got something out. You know what I mean?
So, wow. 4 black men get called the N-word. Crickets.
But yeah, let Danny do something. Yeah.
This motherfucker. I swear.
He fighting for Danny and he's doing a whole segment on Rex and Craig. Kev Grit.
From Retro Lizard, and I don't speak for him, but from what I know of him, he would not want somebody being used. He would not want his name to be used as a weapon.
Yep.
To address, Kev Grad or Rexer, but not, it would be one thing if it was a personal attack, like Rexer had said, oh, fuck Retro Lizard, he's a piece of shit, say things about him that he said about me, being from government housing, on welfare, deadbeat daddy, you know, the racist thing that, you know, stuff that Rexer likes to peddle. And, you know, that would be interesting, you know, but no, this guy wants to keep it about games and call people stupid, but can't speak up when 4 people who've been friendly to him from day one.
And I met him in person. So
you met him in person, but you're not, but clearly, since you're a big boy, he didn't need to talk to you, even though we talk, but on your behalf, he was spoken to. About, please speak up, because this person that said it, we have a connection to an account. And we would like you to denounce this bullying behavior so that, you know, others like us aren't attacked as a race, not for a person, you know, or individual, but as a race, a line that we all should not be crossing, right? And, you know, so he gets accused of, you know, gatekeeping, calling them stupid, all this selective politics shit. So a fellow creator not reviewing a product, that's worthy of outrage. But a fellow co-host being targeted with hate and racial slurs, that's not that serious.
And furthermore, Mister, I think, and I'm not defending Rexer nor Kevgren, but I would say that their show is at liberty to speak about anybody to the products they want to speak to, because their show.
It's freedom of speech.
Yeah, so if they don't want to talk
freedom of speech, because, you know, just as much as they got a right to say something, I got a right to retort, right?
Right. So if Rexer and Kevgren only want to talk about, I think the only modder they talk about really is Glenn, right? GRS product. So if that's all they want to talk about, so be it. Now, I think Dubs, you did one show on Gunther products. He was in the community. Where was all the peddling for him? Then you want to talk about Retro Lizard, the big boy. Why are you doing a whole segment about gatekeeping when I don't think that's gatekeeping?
Well, what was interesting was a little bit earlier on this show, which he kind of briefly mentions, they had a tit for tat for the same Dubs and Lizard, and it was about the same topic of basically fuck all y'all because y'all don't cover me.
Yeah.
So it was interesting that after a little tit for tat going on, and he mentioned this, he's like, oh, you know, I think we're good again. That he does this whole prologue to like be in his good graces again without.
Oh, that makes sense now.
Let's see if I can bring it up. See, this thing is pretty handy. Let's see.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Let's see here.
Oh, JLS said, F iconic arcade went up by another. Hey, that's real talk. That's real talk. Hey, JLS, just something for them to talk about. That and Wonderland Pinball. Because arcade went up, don't have no new titles coming up.
Fucking wild, dude. Right here. He mentions Retro Lizards in the context of discussion about how some people in the community have not covered Retro Lizards. He first realized as a friend.
Yeah, that's bullshit.
And that another individual of the community can be resolved. Yeah, like
it's creators that don't talk about buy stuff store. I mean, and I got multiple of their products, and I hear people don't bring them up. So what? So there's people that like Pepsi. There's people that like Coke. It's a story, man. Either you're going to drink one or the other. You're not going to just push both of them. Jordan only pushed Nike. He only wore Nike product. I mean, shit, you're a Bulls fan, Dubs. Jordan did not wear Adidas for a game. Come on. Is he gatekeeping? Not only wearing Nike.
They've
Magic
been
only wore Converse. He ain't wearing no Nikes. Was he
Talking
can't
work-
keep them.
You're right. I'm gonna hit play on this real quick.
Oh yeah,
hanging
go ahead.
out behind the scenes. I've stayed quiet about it because they're both friends of mine, and I'm like hoping that they work it out.
So I mean, were you friends with the guy that called us the N-word? I mean, why? I'm confused.
Like Lizard and I talked, we were mad at each other for 5 minutes, and I think we're cool now. But either way, they these guys, you cannot, I'm sorry, you cannot go on a stream and
Oh!
lie and
Oh!
yell and scream and
Oh!
complain and cry and
Oh,
accuse Michael B
oh,
of gatekeeping and
Really?
never covering a specific company's products
oh,
and acting like you're speaking up and defending this person who runs this company
big boy.
when you look at their channels, they've never ever covered that guy's products before themselves. Do you have any idea how stupid you look?
This is on the cuffs of speaking to him about all this shit, and he goes and goes, his- "Wow."
But Mister, who's to say that Rexer didn't spend $1,000 with him? Just because he didn't say that on the show, he might have spent his money. We don't know.
The point is to show the hypocrisy that he's brave enough to speak out and about for somebody, but not about other folks.
Real quick, Minister, bring up Frank's comment. That is spot on. So he says, Frank D, as a leader, unofficial mayor of the community, his voice has weight. All he had to say was that racism will not be tolerated in this space. It's that easy. Bam! Frank D, boy, spot on. That took how long did that take me to read that? 1 second.
Right. I mean,
That's
it's not
it.
hard. It's not hard.
That's it. Thanks, Frank D.
Thank you, sir. You've always been almost too good to be true.
Yeah,
That's like, who are you really?
Yeah.
You're trolling.
spot on.
But hey, you always say the right thing, so that's appreciated.
Yeah, thank you. All right, go ahead.
Let's see.
My bad.
No, you're good.
Oh.
Don't offend people. We do have somebody with a micro penis, so just try to refrain from making comments about that.
Who's that guy, Mike?
And for a long time, whether or not people are, what happened with Carl is horrible. Then you've got other people,
This means, right? The Vatican will be praying.
talk about this and stuff. But Carl, I just wanted to again apologize for what happened to you
Yes.
on your stream you did last Thursday.
Hey, respect,
Again, that
man.
was horrible, irreprehensible, and you never should have had to go through that or your guests. So very sorry, man. And I'm glad that guy's channel got taken down, and hope people are more aware of that. There's way too much hate in the community, whether it's something like what happened with Carl is horrible.
Now, mind you, this
Salute.
is pretty much where it should end, or
Yep.
everyone else can add on, but leave it at that, right?
Wow,
But-
that was
but-
big.
right. But let's observe how all this impact gets freaking demolished.
Then you've got other people, you've got to be careful not to hate anybody. Making content with, stuff about whether or not people are, homophobic comments, stuff like that. It's super inappropriate. We all got to stop that. And especially, you guys might not know this, but we have another, person from a special group in our chat as well. It's not just Carl, but we're a very diverse group. So I personally would very much appreciate if you guys in the chat
Wow.
and for our longtime fans, like, be mindful when you make comments in the chat. You don't want to offend people. We do have somebody with a micro penis, so just try to refrain from making comments about that.
And I don't mind. I mean,
That was funny, but that was good.
an uncomfortable situation to bring up, and he tried to ease it a little bit,
Yeah,
which is fine. But let's continue.
that was good, Mike B.
Who's that guy, Mike?
I don't want to say. I don't want to bring it to the forefront. But 100%, guys. Sorry for the joke there. This is a very serious topic. we got to do a better job. Like, you know what? We can have
And I mean, and then he concluded, you know, like, hey,
Yeah.
I joke, but this is serious. Good, cool. Let's continue.
disagreements. You can think I'm a shill, or you can think all kinds of other things, but there's a point where it's too far, and make sure to never cross that.
Yep.
Before
Hey,
we move
bam.
on, because
Mm-hmm.
I actually want
Hey,
to just add something. Everybody here, it looks like P-Dubs, Carl, Mike, everyone has a cup or a drink of some sort, yeah? So I ask that you raise your drink, and I'm just going to say, fuck that guy.
Okay. So you have obviously person on the bottom right making a statement.
yeah, that was dope.
Person on bottom, you know, bottom left making a statement and like here. Fuck that guy, whoever the hell he's talking about. Fuck that guy. Cool.
Respect.
Let's continue to the elephant in the room.
Oh, yeah.
Fuck that guy for sure.
100%.
Oh, hey, Carl said fuck.
And we got Carl coming through.
He said
Fuck
fuck that guy.
But see, he did it in he found a way to
That was good, Carl.
you know, to still get in his piece. Cool.
Percent.
That's all I got.
Yeah, guys.
And here we go.
Oh, shit.
Here we go with the eye rolls.
What's
He should have
interesting
left it
about the
alone.
culture of 2025 is
Oh,
Here we
why
go.
he
Here
had
we
to
go.
say that?
Here we go.
you know, and he kind of wanted to leave it at that. And if that's what Carl wants to do, I'm going to respect my friend's wishes during his
Oh,
show.
that's
Sorry about-
man,
Before we
Doug.
move on,
Here we
I
go.
just want to
I'm
just add
cool on
something.
you, bro.
Everybody here, it looks like
Does that say, now?
I'm cool on you, man.
Now, this is actually your first time hearing this.
That's
Like,
my
you
first
were-
time hearing that, and
All
you
right,
just
so
killed
as soon
that
as
whole
you hear
moment.
it, how do you feel?
I feel like he downplayed everything Michael B said, and I'm about to take him off my friends list.
See, you're
I'm
you're
done.
offended. Are you not?
Yes.
This is how serious it is, guys. This is how fucking serious it
He
is.
should have left it alone and move on to the next topic, but he got to fucking chime in.
You
I'm done
got
with this
you got
dude.
Dom willing to take him off his friends list now.
Man, I'm done.
You got multiple people of color who took him off friends list. You have another person special to me that took him off his friends list, blocked him, and because they heard
That's
this.
stupid.
This is how fucked up this shit is, and he's gonna play stupid to it.
P-Dubs, Carl, Mike, everyone has
Here we
a
go.
cup or a drink of some sort, yeah? So I ask that you raise your drink.
Oh, my bad. Hold on.
And
Hey,
I'm
pause
just
it, mister. Pause it. So because I'm on this show with you, he unfriended me already.
Oh, cool.
Good. You did my work for me. Now I'm about to block you because you mad about a show.
Yeah.
All you got to do is pick up the phone. Hey, let me tell you something live since you watching, because that's the only way you knew to unfriend me. Or you called me. So let's go down the sorry, mister, but I'm gonna address this since you want to fucking
I don't know
play
about
games.
this. Speak
So-
your truth.
Yeah, so since you want to call me to ask me to tell Messiah to stop, that was the first time you called. You called me when you wanted Gunther to stop. Every time you wanted me to have a conversation with so-and-so to stop attacking you like a high school student, not a 40-something-year-old
Ain't
man.
nobody attacking him.
But yet
That's
you
the
got
fact.
offended because I said what I said and you unfriended me. Cool. You did
He's
my work for
offended
me.
because we got called the N-word, and we're upset that he's being a piece of shit. And,
Yeah, I'm done.
And making fun of us basically for it.
I'm done.
And fucking
So-
insane.
Hey, good. You took me off your friends list. You
made the
did
shit
my
easy.
work. Nah, you blocked, brother. Bye. Block.
I
Get
say,
off
fuck
my
that
list.
guy.
Here we go.
Fuck that guy for
Yeah.
sure.
100%.
Look at this shit.
That's all I got.
Yeah, guys. What's interesting about the culture of 2025 is, although it's a culture where some of us look at it that they're determined to find something to be offended about at all occasions, there are truly things that are offensive. And although we messaged Carl after we saw his show,
And he says we.
We? Who's
We.
fuck we?
There's no fucking we. It's you.
and people were spamming the N-word during his show, we messaged Carl saying, Carl, what do you want?
Now,
We.
I want y'all to look at
Man.
this man's face during this.
You just killed everything
to
Michael B
do
said.
about it to help you, Carl.
Did you see his face? Now, you know,
But Carl's big boy
Jason,
hold on, I'm
that
sorry.
are critics. So there is a lot. So there is a lot.
Excuse me.
So they'll be offended about at all
Watch his
occasions.
face. Watch his face.
There are truly things that are offensive. And although we messaged Carl after we saw his show and people were spamming the N-word during his show, we messaged Carl saying, Carl, what do you want us to do about it to help you? Carl, Carl's big boy. Carl's like, hey man, report the account. And he kind of wanted to leave it at that. And if that's what Carl wants to do, I'm going to respect my friend's wishes despite what other people think.
Man,
Now,
y'all stop watching Super Game Reviews.
y'all know who he's talking about.
Yeah, I know.
Despite who do you think he's talking about?
All the people that talked to him about it,
Right.
as if, oh yeah, I did my part.
He's taking a shot at us.
Man.
He's taking a shot at us, thinking we're some bitch made fucks who he can talk on in such a negative way, and then sit here and then he's got the audacity to play victim. The audacity to play victim.
That's all good, bro.
So that's what we did. We reported the account. That account got taken down. So there is a line, guys. Like there is a line, and all.
He couldn't stand to let Michael B have the thunder. He got to chime in, bro. God, hey,
now,
that's hurts me.
Because this was his defensive mechanism, because he knew he fucked up and did wrong by not speaking on it. And so he's like, well, and this was his passive aggressive. And the whole time Carl's clueless to all this shit. He don't know that he's taking pop shots at us on the show.
But
like
Mr. Washington, why does he feel the need? Michael B has said enough.
Right.
Why does he feel the need to chime in? Only one reason. His ego kicked in. Oh, Michael B's gonna get credit for unifying everybody for saying this shit. I said nothing. So I gotta make it seem like I care. Man, Carl ain't your friend. See, listen, you guys use this word friend very loosely.
It's like Jong shit.
Yeah. Hey, friend.
My friend.
Carl is your associate. Y'all do a show, you might have seen him a few times. You don't even value that dude's opinion. Carl, in my opinion, if you want more and some views, do your own show. You don't need dubs and all whatever, because he wants to be in control of that. You too, Michael B. You're stronger by yourself. You don't need this crew. We stopped watching all these crews when COVID ended. You want high numbers? Go out on your own. Do your own show. Have your own guests. Do like 19K5s. Have your own show. The reason Dubs is doing this because he needs y'all. Come on, absolutely. Michael B.
Until he wants to threaten and play. I'm gonna take my stuff and go home.
Man, please. He needs Michael B. He needs nostalgic technical expertise. He needs Carl for diversity. Let's be fair.
Yeah.
Y'all break this up. He ain't got nothing. Ain't nobody gonna sit there and watch him. Mr. Delete. Oh, but you ain't delete Corner Cave for fraud in the community. But I call you out for not defending the N-word, something
exactly.
worse, and you get all butthurt about it.
So remember when he had to go on an apology tour on Jake's channel because he got caught up on Arcades Anonymous Discord for hosting all these lies. Now, you and I recall having a personal conversation with him about 2 years ago.
Yep.
When I asked him, and this is why are you listening to these racists about myself? and you remember?
I remember that.
And crew. And I asked him, I said, Dubs, what have they ever said that was actually true?
He listened to them.
He said, nothing they ever said was actually true. And then me and him got into a chat about, Danny and stuff. And I said, and I told him about, the people, the low lives he hangs with. And he's like, well, who are you talking about? Blah, blah, blah. I said, look, don't do this. I said, I recall, and I, repeated the story I just told everybody. And I go, you know, you hanged out with all these people and you admitted you listened to all these fuckboys about me that were not true, and you admitted it wasn't true, but yet every single YouTube drama in this is what he
You
doesn't want
picking
to
up the phone to
about.
call. Yep.
Every single YouTube drama
He is the center
in
of
this space, he is in the middle.
Y'all
He's
thought it was
involved
Zohar, bro. I don't know.
always
I don't think it was
in
Zohar.
every personal drama I have ever had with anybody in
He's been at
this
the center
space.
of it.
P-Dub's name keeps popping up, and I want to fucking know why. Dubs,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
then you try to play stupid about who you fucking with.
And was Cole, hey,
Fuck you, ain't.
what's real, hey, was Cole about it, mister? Is this his friends telling us?
Yeah,
That's what's funny about it.
yeah.
So hey, Dub, don't trust everybody.
Yeah.
Because they talking about you, dummies.
That's the amazing thing. So you know, let me push. So you know, it gets deeper. So when the whole says things like Carl's like, "Hey man, just report the account," and that's what Carl wants to do. I'm going to respect my friends' wishes, despite whatever people think.
Man, that ain't his friend.
Despite what other people think. It sounds respectful to people initially, but it's not.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
If you ask me.
Despite what other people think, reduces a broader issue of hate speech and racial slurs to a personal preference. It implies that Carl's private reaction overrides the need for public accountability.
Damn.
And that's the pain of the community.
Why didn't he just leave it at what Michael B said? That's just kill all that.
Apparently, it isn't worth addressing unless Carl says so.
Well,
But hey, like this doesn't just affect Carl. The N-word doesn't stop at the inbox. It's a systemic wound that demands more than silence. It demands solidarity. Dubs, it does.
You know what it is, mister? Dubs was that kid in high school at the table of misfits. Because it seemed to me, man, screw it. I'm about to call people names. I'm sorry, y'all.
First off,
first off, you was mad as hell. You were so pissed off that Ralph got on that movie, Token Taverns. You said, why this and all that? I've heard from multiple of your friends saying that you was upset about it. And there's multiple people, I hate to use the word influencers, that left the scene who said they don't fool with you because you snaked them. Let's talk about Tech Buzz. How he said y'all wasn't friends, but you claimed that you were friends and this and that. See, there's so many people that outed you for what you said, Dubs. I personally wouldn't trust anybody. I wouldn't call them my friends. I would say, oh, well, we're associates, right? But I wouldn't say that's my best friend because so many people don't fool with you, man. And you know what they've told me? It's because you're arrogant.
You remember that time Kong came on the show and set the record straight? Quote unquote, I don't fuck with Dubs anymore.
Oh, yeah.
Be Kong.
Yeah.
It was like,
a lot of people don't fool with
we would never go back to what we were. Ever. I don't fuck with Dubs anymore. And this is like, whoa.
It is what it is. And
but
Dubs,
time and time again a chance. And it's just like, wow, man. That's like you had your chance to shine, man. You had your chance to shine.
During COVID, he had every chance when he was with at games and
he had a chance to shine here. Just show support. Like it's insane. So
you know what bothers me, miss? Is not only me, Prince, Mo, we all met Dubs in person. So you would think that he would have said, all right, well, and I think he met Carl for the first time at that Chicago pinball thing.
Thank you, Gio.
He could have said something. If I met you in person, especially, come on, man.
Yeah, that's crazy.
He said nothing but unfriended people who said something.
Right. So but
He did me a
apparently
favor.
this is all your fault. This is your fault, Dom. That's why he
Mister-
unfriended you. This is your fault.
Mister, he did me a favor because there are way more people with bigger numbers than him that unfriended his ass and don't give two fucks about it. You think my life is going to end because he unfriended me on Facebook?
Apparently.
Man, please. Hey, in the words of Chad Ochocinco, child, please. I had a life before you, before this home arcade scene, Dubs, and I got a life after this. I had a life in high school. I played football. I wasn't at the misfit table. It sounds like you was because you're 45 years old acting like a 10-year-old. All you had to do was, like Frank D said, was one line, move on to the next topic. Talk about Switch 2.
Right.
Talk about Street Fighter Alpha 2 on a pie. Like let's say, hey, I'm running on my polycade, but anyway, talk about that.
So speaking on that, so when the leader says he's just respecting Carl's wishes, what is he really doing? What he's really doing is he's shielding himself. He's shielding himself from the discomfort of doing what's right.
Yep.
Because if you only speak when it's safe, are you really leading at all?
But Mister, wouldn't the smart thing, if that was the angle you were taking, wouldn't the smart thing to do was let Michael B talk?
Right.
He done did everything.
But he
and
never
then move
let
on.
Michael B talk. He never lets him talk. He always shuts him up, just like he has to shut up Carl. This is why everybody came to me, like this is what
I mean.
Hey,
I'm
they
just
were doing
saying.
like 30, 45-minute shows. He'll jump in at the last second, remember? And then
Yep.
he's like, well, we're shut up, Michael. We're going to talk about this now. And
Oh,
he's like,
that's not on my
like,
agenda.
don't be disrespectful because we moved on. We're talking about this topic, and then he has to come in and just take
Hey,
over.
Michael B. Hey, it's my opinion, but I watched y'all show. And ain't nobody here to see you, does. Mr. Backwards hat. Michael B, do your own shit. You don't need no team of people. Same thing with you, Detroit Love. You are stronger by yourself. People have said
it's
that.
still friends, but we hear you. Like, I think they would at least do more of your own shit.
Yeah, man, you don't need this.
But yeah, I want to come back through this shit because I really want to hit this up. I want to break down hypocrisy again. So when
go ahead.
promote a product, he had no problem launching into a rant. He said it was about the community. He said their silence was telling. He used his platform to call out what he saw as a lack of support. But when Carl was targeted with a racial slur, the exact moment when the community should matter most, that same energy vanished. Instead of saying this isn't okay, he said Carl's a big boy. Instead of calling out the hate, he called out offended people. Then when Michael B stepped up, he didn't get support. He got sidelined. The phrase, despite what other people think, painted Michael as being out of line for defending someone else. That's the hypocrisy. He'll call out a content creator over a game, but won't stand up for a co-host facing hate. He'll talk about who does or doesn't support the community, but only when it's safe, petty, or performative. When it's real, when it's racial, when it's uncomfortable, he folds because it's easier to confront bad coverage than to confront racism. It's easier to be loud about a product than it is to be honest about a problem. So let's go back to the beginning. People in 2025 are just determined to find something to be offended about. Carl is a big boy. I respect his wishes. All of these things add to one thing. It's a pattern of, our favorite word, right? Selective silence.
Yep.
Once it's one that protects egos and brands and not people. This wasn't loyalty. This wasn't leadership, Dubs. It was image management disguised as integrity.
Miss, I would hate to work for him.
And didn't stand up. Me too, bro. He stepped back.
So his employees hate.
Who told you to butt into Danny's business? You did that on your own.
Yeah.
You called me up going, this is what you said about Danny.
Man.
You interjected yourself between Michael B and Retro Lizard. But when 4 people come to you to include
no interjection.
when 4 people came to you, 2 veterans, a cop, Space Force individual, you feel that we are just finding ways to be offended because we were all affected by racism displayed to us and your friend. Got it.
You know what it is, Mister?
Got
You just said it.
Yeah.
Maybe he's jealous of that. Think about it. He's a high school misfit that's 45 and his claim to fame is these arcades in his loft. So he might be mad that we have some status behind us. That's probably what it is, bro. Because think about that kid in high school who was lame, who hated football players or popular kids because that wasn't them. And they wanted that.
Right.
He wants to be a veteran or he wants to have something with his name besides these arcades. Dude, nobody cares about arcades. This is what Michael B was doing beforehand. He had more views to see him play NES cartridges than these arcade machines. No one cares. You know what? My wife said something. Look, my wife said something to me last night when we were at the movies. So we go to see Final Destination, Mister, and I said, well, man, when we would go hang out at the movies, they had all kinds of arcade machines. It was nothing. And she said to me, well, nobody plays arcades. And you know what? I said to myself, well, I'll play them. But when you think about the average person, that's gone. Those days are gone, bro.
I want to bring up another topic of another pattern. So I wanted to get the story correct. So I interviewed said person, and I was given permission, because when journalism, facts matter, right? So I want to get the correct context. So I asked permission to, say what I'm saying and to basically enforce what I'm saying because this was the interview with said person. I'm gonna mention said person. Sorry, and I already mentioned that, prior, sorry if I'm bringing up old traumas, but this was important to put into context because people have a right to know, because when this happened to the said person, it was diminished because he being Dubs had sway with a company that shut it all down because they didn't like the look because of this guy's bigoted thing that he did to said person. So this was an incident involving an exchange between Moat, Moat and Dubs. And it this may have been framed as a joke, but it was, it was far from, humorous. So it was like, so this event was, it was like after losing the friendly competition, right? Apparently Dubs was pissed and mad about this. Moat, who's black. I have to point this out because this is the topic, and I want to get clarity. So the race does matter, but in the end, if you're offended, you're offended. But this has more implications, in my opinion, about what happened. He sent this person a pimp hat, and he insisted it be open live on stream. So Moat was unaware of what was in the package. So I believe the deal was they were supposed to exchange hats, their hats. Like, hey, if you lose, you give me your hat.
Oh yeah, because they always both wear hats.
Right.
Right. Yeah.
So instead, he gave this guy a pimp hat. Now, what might have been dismissed by some as a prank, this carried a lot of heavy weight of racial stereotyping, humiliation, and disrespect. Why? Because the pimp caricature is deeply offensive trope historically used to dehumanize Black men.
That's true.
Linking us to hypersexuality and criminality and cultural mockery.
Yep.
For Moat, receiving such a gift in front of an audience was not only degrading, it was targeted, racially coded jab delivered at a moment when Dub was angry over losing. And here's the thing. Moat told him as such. He told him such. He said, this was not cool. This crossed the line. Apparently, he did a video on it. Got hit up by said company. Hey, take it down. Bad look. One of the few people in the spaces, nameless, but I'm sure people will know who I'm hinting at. You know, another person of color who worked for said company was like, no, fuck that. You know, so of course now it's starting to add up why said people are mad at other said people, right? Because while you got one demographic in said company going to the black guy saying, hey, take this thing down, calling out this guy for racist behavior, you got another person in that same company of similar demographics being a minority going, no, that's fucked up, standing for what's right. Interesting how this line gets called in the community.
Mm-hmm.
So Dubs attempted to dismiss Moat's reaction by claiming it was just a joke. It only amplified the harm. It shifted the burden of the insult onto the recipient. Invalid, sound familiar? People in 2025 just want to be offended.
2025.
Invalidating his experience and reinforcing the dynamic where racial insensitivity is excused so long as it's delivered with a smile. Regardless of the intent, the impact was clear. Moat felt deeply disrespected, and the act exposed a deeper issue of cultural tone, deafness, and dismissiveness on Dub's part. Sound familiar? Moments like these aren't drama. They are reminders of how easily racism hides behind humor and how much it hurts when it's brushed off by those who should know better. Moat's frustration and offense over receiving a pit pat as so-called joke wasn't an overreaction. It was a response to a racially insensitive act rooted in stereotype and power imbalance. All right. It doesn't matter if the intent was humor. The impact was humiliation. Moat was publicly made a punchline of a joke that relied on outdated, racially coded symbolism. What made it worse was that Dubs was angry over losing. He used this moment to take a shot disguised as comedy. So when Moat expressed how offensive it was, P-Dubs dismissed his reaction, doubling down by insisting, it's just a joke. This is typical textbook racial insensitivity. It's weaponizing stereotypes under guise of humor. It's forcing the offended party to either laugh it off, right? Just like you just saw with, with them all joking, or risk being labeled too insensitive, because people in 2020 kind of reminds you of what just happened on their last stream, right? Minimizing a real emotion and a cultural wound in front of an audience. And I'm going to summarize with this. So humor isn't neutral when it punches down. And in this case, Moat's anger was valid. The gesture was never funny, Dubs. It was coded insult wrapped in denial. P-Dub's behavior showed not just a lack of empathy, but a pattern of deflecting accountability, even when the harm was clear and direct. If the roles were reversed, or if the same hat were given to someone from another cultural group, their reaction likely would have been the same or worse. That's the point. This wasn't a one-off joke. It was a line that was crossed, and Moat had every right to it what it was. And I'm getting tired of you, Dubs. And you want to cry, sit here. People like you have the nerve to cry victimhood.
Yep.
When I never no one's come for you like that, like
nobody really
calling you out by your race and doing this stuff, and when shit mattered, we had your back.
Chill, Les. You said he would have got a pimp slap.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
See, they take these cartoons that we use to look back and like satire about these events, from like Boondocks, and like
Jail Les is stupid.
If you don't understand what he's trying to say, then don't put that shit off on us. We're not your cartoons.
My thing, Dubs, and I think JLS said earlier, Mister, if you can see his cat about him, about the definition of narcissist. I really think Dubs is a narcissist because,
I'm sorry to cut you off. I remember when I spoke to him once, and he was like, he just had this, like, he confirmed what everyone else was saying about him, right? And he was like, he's like,
I'm the man.
not to toot my own horn.
Yeah,
But-
yeah, I think he's
yeah, right.
man.
Yeah, not to toot my own horn, but I don't have to ask anybody for anything. They just send it to me. And what was amazing about
He
that,
did say that, yeah.
this is when another person was talking shit about him, was like, yeah, he begged for this, XYZ product, and they sent it to him. So then he goes, this was sent to me by XYZ, but I know
got
for a
big.
fact that you asked for it and he sent it to you. So
Let's be real. Let's be honest, mister.
like, it was at a, so it's like, I know what happened. And then here I see this, like he's playing it up like, they just sent it to me because I'm so popular. And then, but it's like, but
That's
you
a
paid
lie.
for it. You paid for it.
JLS done told you, man. Hey, these cats is faking it in a $40 bill because
Yeah.
If Dubs had any kind of bread like he make it seem, then he wouldn't be asking companies for a free product. I ain't got nothing. The only time I got something free was when Arcade went up. Me and Cool Toy, we met at E3. And Arcade went up, was getting off the ground. This was way back in 2018. And they sent me a Street Fighter cabinet, and they sent Cool Toy one. This was before they even hit the stores. So that's the only time that I got something for free. The rest I paid for. So he liked to say, well, I paid for the Polycade. Okay. You and about all my friends. So, but you ain't hear us begging a company for nothing. From New Wave Tours to Wonderland to this to that. Mister, you done pay, I don't know how much to GRS. You got shit I ain't even got from GRS. Hey.
I actually just made a post about that today. Let me see.
Hey, I'm just saying.
I own a lot of GRS.
So, hey, but a lot of these cats talking about gatekeeping and covering products. Hey, Dubs, when the last time you covered Coke? You don't cover every part. So why are you mad that Rexer and Kevgret ain't covering Retro Lizard products? Maybe they don't like his products.
Because he wanted to
reincite. Talk about it.
Because he wanted to reincite the beef between
man, or that, or he wanted to show Retro Lizard that is his boy.
Because because they got into a tit for tat.
Exactly.
Retro Lizard made it clear to everybody, even people like me, and I'm really, really cool with him. Don't use me as an attack piece, right? So he's like, for Glenn, I own the Build-A-Cade. I'm going to own 3, so it's going to be 4 it'll be 3 total. I own all his control sticks for it, right? I own the shotgun. I own the yoke. I own his mount. I own the control deck. I pre-ordered the Arcade
KVM.
Yep. I got the GRS trackball, the LED version. I got 2 Akari sticks, and I got the auto 8-way switcher. Now, for the one stick and the switcher, I got sent by a friend, but that's because he knows I like their products, and I was going to put it to use. And so I own like 10, 11 products, and I'm going to buy more. And
are you covering
so on
Glenn's
paper,
product?
huh?
Are you covering Glenn's product since you own all that?
No.
Do you have a bug for Glenn's product?
I like when things get in the Polycade group and stuff like that, people are like, hey, what are you playing on? I'm like, yeah, man, get it from here. So I do it in my own way that people have asked me and claimed that they bought because they saw my opinion on, or they saw what I had going on with his product because I used it to mod other products, right?
I'm gonna be honest, mister.
I have never gone out of my way, to do a review. No, but then again, I don't have to because I bought it, right?
But the same thing he's mad at them for. Gunther, JLS no Gunther. Gunther was pissed because none of y'all was covering his products, fools.
Right.
So the same thing that y'all fussing about gatekeeping, Gunther said the same shit. And Dubs, you did a review on Gunther's restrictors. You said it might have been 98% positive. You said a few negative things, and Gunther was pissed about it. But he wanted the honesty from you. But you're the only one that covered really his gate product and his trackball and shim kits. You didn't go into details about it. You just said you just did a favor, basically. So Gunther could have did the same thing Joe did, was go live and rant on all y'all for not supporting. He just sold his product. I'm not taking up for the guy, but I'm just saying he said the same shit. And this is why he didn't fuck with you, Dubs, and the rest of y'all. Because he said you guys didn't talk about his product. Now, hey, ain't that the same thing Joe said? Not weaponizing him, but ain't that the same thing?
And so you remember when Dubs had put out a poll in the group, and I had mentioned I would like to see interviews with people like Retro Lizard and stuff.
Oh,
And
yeah.
On this, I wish I could show you guys. I don't have it prepared, but he went on this 20+ comment rant back and forth between him and I, basically trying. I mean, he got so defensive about Retro Lizard, and that's where he says, "I think we're good now." He's talking about that's what brought up the strife, because I had mentioned them, and then he, for whatever reason, Dubs was mad and took it personal. But I just simply asked, "Hey, cover people like Retro." He's like, "I covered him before." Blah, 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 blah. I'm like, I like, dude, I've only been in this space for a couple of years. Like, why are you mad at that? I'm just saying, hey, these are examples of people I would like to see covered. But every time I keep bringing this guy up, you might be
scared of him, Benson.
You know,
he might be scared because hey, JLS said that's a weird flex, bro. All these dudes do. Let's keep it a beam, JLS. To your point, all these arcades, you know what we call that? A dick measuring contest. Oh, I got 3. Oh, I got 30. That's basically what he's doing. You overcompensating, bro. I ain't gotta sell y'all nothing. You talking about you got a law full of this and that. I got this many pinball. Who cares? I mean, I don't care. I mean, what's his name? 19K Fox said, I sold all my shit. He did a video and said I only got one arcade one up left. Ralph sold his garage full of full-size arcades. First of all, Ralph is the reason I got it. Hey, Ralph, it's your fault. Ralph is the reason I got an iArcade. Ralph sold that. Then Ralph used to mod arcade 1-ups. Had a whole show, him and Justin. Sold every last one. He sold every last one of his arcade 1-ups. Then he got full-size arcades. So all of it. And now he got just pinballs. And now, hey, shout out to Ralph. I seen him. He's really big on that pinball scene. He done covered big shows for them. So, hey, kudos to him. But, yeah, he the reason I got in the home arcade space, because it was his CES interview with Jong and that other guy that got me to buy an iArcade or to back it. So, kudos to him on that. But I've seen phases of this shit. Either some people move on with the phase, i.e. the cool toys and the Tech Buzz and the Ralphs, or they stick to what they know. And Dubs, you've been sticking with this since the beginning, because let's face it, Arcade 1-Up built your channel. And most of y'all in here don't remember Dubs on At Games weekly show with their announcements, and they got away from it. Said they don't need to do no shows no more. So, and your payment was a free pinball. I know that. A free pinball and a free Gamer Pro. But okay. And so all that built your channel. Without At Games. See, y'all can talk all y'all want, but without At Games, without Arcade 1-Up, because Arcade 1-Up built a lot of people's channels. Let's face it, bro. Without all of them, you guys would be nothing. And that's real talk.
Of course. I mean, because if I was talking to a person and they had mentioned that, like, imagine it's COVID time, right? You got people like Dubs with like 100 subscribers, right? So anytime you're tagging RK1UP in your headline and RK1UP is spending money on promotions, you're getting pushed by their algorithms. So, they became a natural shill for RK1UP because that's what's giving them their viewerships and their jump. Without the RK1UP subscribers, say they move on, right? Like say it's a true context of titles where only people who subscribe to him that were subscribed initially were only interested in arcades. So by him moving on to, pinballs or whatever, he's lost like 90% of his subscriber base.
Bingo.
Because he's not going to get those returns. It's just like where I know pretty much for a fact that he doesn't stream with certain people or redo streams because it got him low numbers. Like
I know that for a fact too.
Like you guys when you were doing the Old School Gamer and you did a good stream of Nintendo. And he's like, yeah, those numbers weren't good. So I'm never doing this again.
Hey, that's fact, Mister. Hey, Mister, touched on some real shit.
Yeah, remember?
That's fact.
Like, wow, okay. I'm sorry that Old School Gamer doesn't actually get thousands of views and they only get maybe 130, something like that. But wow, like
that's fucked up.
And so he got low numbers, but he won't support no more because he realizes that you guys didn't bring in him numbers. But it wasn't about him. It was about him just being nice and friendly and supporting others and just, being a good person. But in the end, he showed that it was all about numbers.
Yeah, it is.
It's just this meme here, like this is how I feel. And this is how a lot of people, especially people of color that I know that are around me, feel about him right now. The whole Drake meme. This is reaction when his friends, which apparently we never were called the N-word. And this is his reaction to people like the cornercade, Danny. So X marks the spot for being called the N-word, but let's give a check for defending Michael B from Rexer after saying you don't do drama, stating, why does everyone involve me in this drama? I'm sick of it. That's a quote, unquote. But from a friend, when they had a personal conversation with him about the situation.
I'm sick of
it. He's sick of it. He's sick of us. Makes excuses for your friend with a restraining order. The cornercade is active no more, but it was for 4+ years. Defend him even when he lies about using the N-word. Ignores his lies about veterans and their service, because that's why he came on the stream and said, "I'll have the egg on my face," because he was hosting lies. He brushed off his GoFundMe drama. He stayed silent on his Facebook marketplace fraud claims, and he's okay with him blaming his 10-year-old with autism child for trolling a black man. Remember that time when Danny came on our show, and I was like, "Well, why were you trolling me, Danny?" Well, I have an autistic 10-year-old. Like, what? What?
We need to know that shit.
Like, why do I care? Like, don't bring your and that's what people, sickos. I don't know if you can call it narcissism. Like, it's probably something more sick. Like that's what people like them do. They want to bring in shields. They want to talk about their own wives and their own kids and put the blame on them, because then if you talk about them, it's, oh, you're not allowed to say nothing. Well, you made them a part of the conversation. So now too late.
Yep.
We get talked about. You had no business blaming your child who, like, why would I know their HIPAA, for your crap? You have no business bringing in your wife. I don't need to know her business. I don't need to know she was knocked up when she was 16. This is, remember, he said this on my stream. She was knocked up when she was 16. It's her fault. I got an autistic child. It's his fault. That's not my kid anyways. And Dubs is cool with it, because Dubs wants to come on the stream where he's got egg on his face and go, well, Danny's a talented individual. He's a talented individual.
So many people are talented in
Well,
this community. So what?
but it's the same rhetoric where people with, you know, I mean, like it's just sickening. Like this, but
You know what
in
I
the
think,
end,
Mister?
what did
I
I do to
think
you, bro?
Dubs.
Not a damn thing. But
I-
because I'm speaking the fucking truth, you got a fucking problem. So
I
fuck you.
think, man, let me tell you something. What I think, and this is my opinion. This ain't Minister's opinion or nobody else's. This is mine. I think Danny. Now, my spidey sense is telling me
Oh yes.
that I think Danny has something on some people because remember. So I'm putting two and two together.
Yep.
Danny was catfishing as his wife. We know Travis was making comments. We know
Fact.
that Dubs, you was in Danny's stream making little slick comments. Ain't no telling what these losers, the message said account.
So you know what's
I'm
interesting?
gonna leave it at that.
You know what's interesting? Dubs did a stream a while ago going, yeah, you know, there's people in the Corner Cade's wife's chat saying inappropriate things. You know, like he's projecting and saying how it's weird that these guys are sending her friends requests.
But he's friends with her.
But I'm curious, why are you friends with her? How did that get arranged? And how is it arranged that I'm the one, and this is a fact. This is a fact. You were unaware that that was not her true account, that was Danny the whole fucking time. And you said to me, that's because I've had plenty of conversations. So what's he got on you?
Pull up Kevin comment saying that could be possible. I think so.
Yeah, because it makes no sense.
Just my opinion.
Tinfoil hats on, guys. It's the only unless you shut the
something tells me he does.
Like this is more plausible.
Yeah, because if I have something, I think about P. Diddy. They said P. Diddy had what 60 terabytes of film. Can you imagine who's on those hard drives, bro? And the secret cameras all over the house. Hey, if you want this, if you're gonna say this, I got this. Shut your mouth.
I have this old screenshot, Frank, where he's got his wife on the patio, and she's laying on her, like on a, what do you call it, cart or not cart, but you know, like a lounge seat, and he's got the camera down her breast, you know, to show her swollen tits, and then she's wearing like a straight up like string bikini kind of thing, if I recall.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
And it's a YouTube thumb for like a short. And but then the way he used to say that people are sexualizing her. Are you serious? Like that's
hey, I'm about to call a spade, man. A lot of these cats in this community, bro. They are the same cats that be in Twitch with these booby. Hey, when I was in esports, we used to call them booby streamers, and we would be so mad because my stream team would be doing their best, man, streaming Blackout at the time and Call of Duty every day. They would be struggling to get them numbers. One woman who wasn't that good at Blackout, but half naked, was shit on us, bro. So we would call it, and we would call them movie streamers.
Or you could be 14-year-old kids, and that's who Danny's calling the N-word, right?
Yeah.
And that motherfucker got the nerve to come on the stream and go, "We've all done it, Messiah. You've done." What the fuck?
I ain't calling no damn kids the N-word.
Calling kids the N-word and shit. Ain't nobody saying that shit. You fuck boy. Fuck you.
Yeah, I'm with old boy that said, Frank, that said the way he used his wife. I don't give a damn if I was dating, but hey, y'all know Halle Berry was fine when she first came out. I could have been, she still is. But if I was married to Halle Berry, I would not put it on video telling her to be half naked so I can get views. Man, please. I would be hiding Halle Berry.
I mean, yeah, it's wild.
Kevin says she is still fine, bro. Hey, I used to have the movie Monster Ball and skip right to the part when she getting her back blown out. I couldn't even tell you
what was that?
That movie's about. It's Monsters Ball.
it was that one with John Travolta. That was like her first nude scene where she like put down.
Lord have mercy, man.
Didn't she get like she got an Oscar for like that one? I think.
No,
like,
she got an Academy Award for Monsters Ball, and none of my friends.
Did she get an award for that other movie with John Travolta where about the music industry? And she just like flashed her nipples real quick. I think that was like one with her first award in it too.
She might have, but nobody knows those movies.
Real, yeah.
Nobody knows the ending of those movies because they went straight to those. Good. Yeah, they went. I went straight. I couldn't. You ask me right now, what's Monster Ball about? I couldn't tell you, but I know that she was looking hella good. Hey, riding the bike, if you know what I mean. Whew. Anyway,
well, I mean, Frank, what do you expect when you have a restraining order from someone who's
Swordfish? That's right, Swordfish.
You know, he's 28, and the person he's got a restraining order against was 19. Like, I mean, look at the age gap there. Like
that is. Hey, Frank, that is creepy, bro. I would not call a kid. First of all, he should be mentoring, because I would say that he was in the esports scene. I used to play professional Call of Duty, and I had a lot of youngsters that I would just mentor in the industry. A lot of them was making, I mean, shit. They win one tournament and get paid more than I was seeing a month. And these guys are not even 18, bro. Yeah. There was this one 14-year-old kid when Fortnite first dropped, when Epic was doing these big old tournaments, right? 14, and he won a tournament and made $1 million, bro. At 14. You know,
it makes me wonder now that his so-called Twitter got, like he ran away from it.
Oh, hey.
It makes me wonder now that if that PlayStation account got barred for having racial rhetoric, because remember, he had a cop testified on his ass about his Instagram usage, and then this guy magically, doesn't have social media. Remember, he trying to claim he didn't have Twitter, but then Moke calls his ass out like, "No, bitch, you do, because that's how you got on my show, because you used that as a messenger."
Oh,
yeah. But it's cool because this is who Dubs defends. This is his boy. Like, I'm trying to understand what is the redeeming value of this, man child, that you guys have to defend him so much. But well-to-do folks like myself, Dom, and Prince, we're no good.
I agree, Kevin. They all still fine.
You guys are weird.
But yeah, miss, I think in a nutshell, all the signs are there. I think Danny has something. I won't say it's his wife, but he's got something in his pocket. And he's using it as a tool to get them to dance.
I mean, did Dubs, because how long have you known Dubs? How many years? Just known him associate wise?
Since 2018 or 19. 2018, 19.
So let's try to do the math. So 18, 19, 21. So like 7 years?
Yep.
So Dubs threw away 7 years of association with you.
Yep. Because
you had an issue with him being shady about us being called the N-word.
I don't have nothing on Dubs.
But yet but Danny's good to go. So 7 years for association down the drain. Danny good to go.
Danny got something. I'm telling you,
got it.
Danny has something, bro.
Makes a lot of sense, doesn't it, guys?
Hey, even John asked, hey, and John went bankrupt. John called my cell phone and said, hey, you know what? I remember, full disclosure. When John was going bankrupt, John said, I can't pay you this month for the show, but I can give you a IRK Gold Cab as payment. I said, oh, that's cool, man. I didn't sweat him. Right. I knew he ain't have no money. The shit was going under. Mr. Exposed.
You're getting compensated because you're doing, it's his show.
Yeah.
So, hey, anyone on his show is getting compensated somehow. Look, so we knew you guys. I mean, you were the RRK guys, like
exactly.
Hosted by John. Like, come on.
Hey, Mr. already exposed you were going under, bro. I told him, I said, y'all can't pay me this month. Nah, I ain't got no money to pay you this month, but I got these calves in the warehouse. All right, well, give me an arcade gold. Which one you want? Space Invaders. All right. That's and John shipped that arcade gold the next day. Real talk. Somebody, Kevin said, I'm gonna read Kevin's comment. Danny's wife is just as bad. She's got 5 kids. Plastic surgery is more important than her than rent for her kid. Hey, you know what? Oof, that's a deep one, bro.
Disclosure: views of the show are not reflective of the guest or host. We all have our own opinions.
Yep. And mine is, I think that my opinion, nobody told me this. I think Dubs, they got something on him, bro. Because it's weird that Tech Buzz disappeared. All these other cats, his boys. And you know what? I've been on that scene since at games. Our Arcade went up, dropped, and sold their first cabinet. Dubs and Rexter was friends. Y'all don't get fooled, bro. Don't get fooled by a few arguments.
Right.
I don't know if Rexter, how dead that relationship is, but he was friends with Dubs.
That's the thing. It's not dead. It's
I don't think it's dead.
You know, because there will always first off, is it a fact or not a fact? Right, from at least from when I've seen it, P-Dub's channel is featured on Rexer's channel.
Yep, that's fact.
Is it a fact or not a fact that P-Dubs is a moderator on the Rexer Show's channel? Am I wrong, or correct me if I'm wrong, Kevin? You know, so of course,
but everybody else fooled.
You know, but everyone, yeah.
I'm not fooled. I'm not fooled.
Yeah.
Because and you know what? Dubs, man, let me tell you something, bro. And this is live. This is not Mince's opinion. This is my opinion. You called me quickly about everybody else, bro. But you couldn't call me about this. It says a lot about you.
Yeah.
It says I was never your friend.
Mm-hmm.
And thank you for exposing yourself. I'm like, Pop, hey, I pray to the Lord to deliver me from my enemies. And I started losing friends.
And for you guys who aren't aware, this Dom's blindsided. I didn't tell him what everything went down.
Nope.
I was like, he's just here for the show.
Yeah, I'm just going.
And you know, and so him hearing this and seeing this, so the way you heard Dom's reaction when he heard how Dubs reacted to this, I reacted the same way. Now, one thing looks like the other, one thing doesn't. It's clear that it was insensitive because I'm not the only one who took it such, you know, and so he had no clue. So him being on the show, which he's always been, that it made no sense for, you know, for Dom, for Dubs to do what he did without coming to Dom. So he can go to Carl and go, hey, should I speak up? You know, should I be a little pussy?
Bro.
You know, but you can't go to the other guy who's supposed to be your friend. I guess he never was your friend.
Nope.
You know, you can't come to Dom and ask him the same thing. You know, but I go to you and go, hey, I'm telling you, for the N-word scenario, you know, via proxy, that we're offended, and I'm getting feedback of, I'm tired of getting involved in this and that. And then you make 5 other fucking shows and comments talking about, you know, you guys look stupid and how dare you? And, you know, like, wow, like you couldn't have the same energy? But then you got, it should have ended with Michael and Rastasia going, you know, here, fuck that guy. And you're like, well, you know, despite what other people think, and, you know, other people in 2025, man, that's some fuckboy shit.
That's a narcissist comment.
Narcissist, man.
I'm
Shame
cool
on
on
you.
Dubs. Hey.
And you know, this motherfucker is going to go around and he's going to try his damnness to
Do what? We ain't got nothing he can take.
Well, I know, but hear me. He's going to try to turn this on us some way, somehow. You know, like, oh, fuck those guys. We'll always start. You know, he's going to try. You know how they do.
Listen, Detroit Love, Michael B. Don't listen to that shit. I'm telling y'all, because what if I know Dubs and I've been knowing him for years? He's gonna tell you, Carl, don't have them dudes on your show no more. Or he's gonna make a threat to you, Michael. Y'all don't listen. Because you know every time we come on y'all show, mister.
I was actually invited last night, but of course you clearly know why I didn't get to come on.
Dub can control his shit.
No,
he don't control nobody else. I mean, listen, mister, they have their own private shows. Michael B has his show. Carl has his own show. I could give a rat's ass about if I'm on Super Game Room Dudes contributing. But if any one of those cats on their private shows want to talk about games like we've done with Carl, I'm open. And we've never talked about nobody on his show.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, there was
and he had great numbers, but whatever.
We've never, nobody in this circle of mine has ever come to their channels, their space, and brought anything to them. Never, not once. Never talked bad on them in their space. Never talked evil on them in their space. Exemplary in their space. You know. So, and that's a fact. So I have every right in my space to speak up about my truth without you know, people trying to silence me because exposing the bullshit because other people were blind to it. And it's not their fault they were blind to it because they don't have the context of being involved. So once again, guys, this guy took personal about myself, people of color, and other minorities in space, calling us, you know, 2025, and we're just looking for shit to be offended, and despite what other people think.
So that's how he feels. But I'm gonna address,
dude, fuck you too.
I'm gonna address real quick, because Kevin Carson asked my opinion on what I think happened to Tech Buzz and why did he disappear. Well, I'm gonna be real.
Yeah.
Tech Buzz is on some other shit now. It seems like is he still collecting all 600 NES game carts?
Man, he showed his butt.
We'll touch on that. But I'm saying as far as him and P-Dubs is concerned.
Oh yeah,
I think now it's my opinion, Kevin. And nobody told me this. This is what I'm thinking. I'm speculating like they do on what title is dropping. I think that both of them are jealous of each other. I heard from some people that Tech Buzz felt like we were all in this together. We came in together. But some people went certain ways to where he stayed at his spot, but other people kind of kept going up, if that makes sense. So I think both of them were jealous of
other people making success. When we start, I mean, look what happened when we were having interviews. You know,
most said facts.
People were hating on us hard, you know, when we were doing interviews and whatnot. And as soon as you started doing well, like I said, remember when you started fucking with me? And I said,
oh, that was a big problem.
What was my quote to you? I said, watch what happens. I guarantee you those guys, and when I was talking about those guys, sorry guys, the Super Game Room dudes, I just said it in general because I didn't know Michael B and all those folks like I do now at the time. I said these words. I said, well, watch those guys try to get either in between us or separate us. Now, guilty by proxy, right? Well, guess what happened? Who came to you? About, I would like you to be a permanent fixture on the Super Game Room dudes.
Yep.
Now, and then who kept that from happening?
Hey, Mo's here. Mo, no, who I'm about to say. Hey, Tech Bus said that he told Patrick, "Oh well, I'm going to put Creole with me and Mo." That all fell apart. Mo knows because he was on that show.
Yeah.
I did one show, and everybody asked Steven, "Well, what's going on?" Oh yeah, and Jay was on that show.
I
was
came on.
supposed to join them three. So
I came on there too, just as
what
a
happened? Oh, yeah, that's right. You came on.
Yeah.
So what happened? Because that was supposed to be the next
It was
big
one
thing.
show, but it was supposed to be a permanent thing. And the same was up.
That was it.
One, a permanent thing, but blah 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 said he got to you first. Like what? Like, but it's just interesting how that all turns. When we ain't do shit.
Kevin said I was supposed to make a comeback, but nothing happened. Hey, yeah, well, Steven said Haywood and Mo's here. He can tell you. Mo was still on that show. I was on him, and Jay was leaving. It was Mo was still there, and he knows this. Steven told Patrick, "Nah, you can't have him because he's gonna be on the show with us." Bam.
And Mike, if you don't know, I talked about the pimp situation in depth. So he's here, so he can tell you, here or now that if he was or was not offended. But like I said, for integrity and whatnot, I asked you if I had permission to speak on it since it was pretty much already public, and you said yes.
Yep.
So
nobody lying about it. The horse is here.
Back, so for people who don't know that this is a pattern of that, conquer device shit. And anytime that these topics come up, we're too sensitive, and it's weird that we're sensitive about being called the worst, name in modern fucking history. But you can make stupid rants about, you're stupid. You can call people names out of their name. That's okay, but we're fucked up for being upset over this. Make it make sense. Somebody, please make it make sense.
Hey, real quick, Mister, you forgot something. You forgot something key here. So Dubs was, from where I hear now, I don't know if this is true, he was upset about UAG's group. What was that group? Damn it.
Oh, the weekly retro party, right?
Bam. Because they was getting some traction, bro. I'm telling you, he don't like that shit.
Remember when
they were more entertaining than Dub shit. I mean, let's be honest.
You remember when that whole, when Voldemort doxed another man's wife and had her personal shit out there, basically cyber sex porn revenged her and had her business out there, a woman he shouldn't be involved with, just putting her info out there, a mother, and oh man, sorry, oh man, so, I had a brain fart, but yeah, this hypocrisy in the community.
Oh, they mad because that was a whole move to dismantle.
So real quick, came back to me. So then Dubs,
go ahead,
on public, tells everybody in the stream. He tells Nick Cruz, UAG, he tells him, you need to delete your channel.
Yep. Bam. Oh. You know why he said that, though?
Of course. So I mean, I'm baffled why you can call people stupid and delete channels and this and that, but then but Carl's a big boy, and the three and fuck the three other black men. So am I to expect?
Nick was competition.
No disrespect to Michael B and Rastasia because they spoke up when it mattered. But am I to expect that if, which will never happen, but let's just hypothetically put this out there, you got Dubs on the show, Carl, myself, Prince, and Dom, and we get called this, he's just gonna be a fuckboy and say nothing? Because that's exactly that's the equivalent of what happened. You know? And so, you know, if I go, hey man, that's messed up. So real time Dubs is gonna go, you know, guys, it's 2025. Why are you so insensitive? You know, Carl, you're a big boy. You speak up. I don't have to say nothing, even though I'm in the chat with you getting called the N-word. Man, what kind of shit is that? Like, you have no morality? That's insane. Guys, make it make sense.
Dubs don't want nobody around as competition.
No. And then if they are, he's going to make it seem as if he's giving them a favor, because, you know, it was just like with the AA guys. You know, I'm like, look, y'all are up and coming. Y'all don't need them like that, you know, but they feel embedded to those because they're like, well, you know, he put us on, bro. No, he's fucking didn't. You're up and coming is inevitable. Dubs is old. You're new. People like what y'all are doing. You owe him nothing. Nothing. Now, if you want to get along and stuff like that, and he wants to help, so be it. But you don't owe him shit, because you're not. This isn't fucking the mafia. You're not emboldened to kiss his ring, and that's what it seems like he wants.
Yeah, that's what it seemed like, bro.
Or get out. You know, this is my shit. I'm going home. Oh, you guys don't want to do what I say? Super Game Room is dead. It's not their show. It is not Michael B's show. It's not the Nostalgia show. It's not Carl's show together. That is a Dub show. That is 100% Dub's stream shit. That's Dub's proprietary. And if you think about it, they've lost a lot of self-control about how, their own shit. Because why is it that Dubs is the only power in there? Basically, Dubs is their UN of he's got the veto power. If Dubs says no and it's a 3-1 vote against him, his vote wins.
Yep.
Anyone disagree? Anybody speak up in the chat. You disagree that he's been outvoted and he's good to go and he'll be on the show in support of their vote?
Hell no, I haven't seen Dubs be sick. But he's such a
he'll magically be sick, or he'll have something.
He'll join in, yeah,
right? You know, because that's his protest. Really,
control
here don't want to talk on the issue because the races I defend will be offended. But I find it funny that content creators, or insert content creators, sells hats for which he tried to scam people. Right? You know.
Just saying. He can't stand to leave a show. Because remember, he said, oh, I want myself on the show. Leave.
So, Dub's actions, I'm offended. Dom, are you offended?
Yep.
Prince, speak on it. Are you offended about what occurred? And no, Mike, it's not real. And Mike, I don't know if you only been here for a while, but at least with the pimp hat situation, that regarding, were you offended? Let me know, sound off, because in that case, you have 1, 2, 3, 4 black men, once again in this chat, that were offended by Dub's racial insensitivity to what's happening around him. He just doesn't give a fuck. And I don't endorse or support anyone, especially person of color, to come around this cat, because he's going to say fuck you. I really don't. You make the community unsafe, completely unsafe, and apparently we're not part of the community. It's insane.
I think that it's Dub's way or the highway. I think he's got a little bit too arrogant too big for his britches. I think he needs to be humbled. And all y'all, man, let me tell you what a humble Dubs. If that Super Game Room group do say super whatever the hell they are, if that breaks up, that's gonna humble. If Michael B goes out on his own and said, I'm bigger than all of this, really, and I could do this a little bit better because you gotta think, Michael B. You had a following before this. This whole home arcade scene hit. You've had a big following with these NES scene. You don't need nothing, really. You just need people like to come in and talk about maybe their favorite NES game, maybe their favorite arcade game, maybe their favorite pinball game. Have Detroit Love talk about the old days where the arcade scene was huge. And me and Mr. said last time, by the time we came on, consoles was getting pretty big and people was going to arcades, but they wasn't hanging out all the time. Not like Carl era.
Right.
So we want to hear what he has to say.
And Carl was leaving the scene when pinballs were a thing. Like,
right,
remember, like we're born, and he's like, I'm out. I was out of there. So it was so super cool to hear his perspective. But I mean, but look at this point. Is that you have but a handful like that you can only have on two fingers that people are aware of in this space. That do content at all in this niche space that are people of color, Black, and right now, I don't know one that is 100% in agreement with how Dubs handled this. Yeah,
Yeah, I don't know.
not with all the facts disclosed. So, how can you not look at yourself and reflect?
My thing is, okay, let's go back, Mister. Let's go back. So remember when Nostalgia and Michael B said, fuck that guy.
Right.
And Carl said, yeah, fuck that guy.
Mm-hmm.
Do you notice? I don't know if you can go back or how fast.
Yeah, I'm going to go back. When I said pay attention to his face, somebody was rolling their eyes. Yeah.
Well, do you notice that Dubs, did he raise his glass and say, fuck that guy? Or did he go into his own rant?
I think he might have said no. I think he went into his rant about saying
and didn't say nothing.
But you know what? Let's be fair. Let's go back.
Yeah, let's go back. Let's go back, Mister, because I want to add. But let's give these folks facts. Let's not speculate. Let's not speculate.
Let's see here.
If he did, I'll stand corrected. But I don't think he ever said fuck. Because Nostalgia say fuck that guy. And somebody said, raise the glass. Nostalgia said, raise our cups.
Yeah, let's
go back.
Let me know if you can or can't hear the volume. I'm going to play.
I say, fuck that guy.
Did you hear it? Did you hear the volume?
I heard it. I see
there he
Carl.
goes.
Okay, I see his.
100%.
He cheered it. So, I mean, just because he didn't say it, he did cheer it.
All right, Dubs, you cheered it.
Yeah,
guys. Then you went to your
now, there, right here. But he's speaking now. Now, this is kind of hard because, I mean, he didn't really get a chance to swallow his drink.
Yeah, I don't know, Mister. He raised his glass, but I don't think that he meant that.
Right. So he raised his glass, he drank, and right in the middle of the swallow,
he goes into it.
He's going to go into it. Check it out.
I say, fuck that guy.
All right.
Fuck that guy.
There it is.
Sure.
100%.
Boom. All right. He's gulping. Ready? Here we go.
All right.
This man don't even have his shit down yet.
That's all I got.
Yeah, guys. What's interesting about the culture of
he shouldn't have said
2025
nothing.
is,
Yep.
although it's a culture where some of
Come on, y'all.
Here, listen to this. So for people who didn't hear it,
us look at it that they're determined to find something to be offended about at all occasions.
Wow.
There are truly things that are offensive, and although we messaged Carl after we saw his show and people were spamming the N-word during his show, we messaged Carl saying, Carl, what do you want us to do about it to help you? Carl, Carl's big boy. Carl's like,
so Mo, Carl's a big boy.
hey man, report the account, and he kind of wanted to leave it at that. And if that's what Carl wants to do, I'm going to respect my friend's wishes despite what other people think.
That's cool.
For what you don't know, Mo, since you just joined, he's talking about us. He's talking about myself and another friend that actually personally called him up and was saying like, "Hey, like, what's up?" And this is where he yelled back at him, and the person had to say, "You need to lower your voice with me. You know, I'm sick of this and that, and you know, shit like people didn't defend me with Rexer." Just deflective.
So that's what we did. We reported the account. That account got taken.
and then he's acting like he was doing like you're not like you didn't speak on it. So you by yourself did not get the account taken down, motherfucker. You don't think it was the other blacks and people who supported us in our numbers that you didn't say nothing? So who did you get to take it down? You think because you're fucking P-dubs, you got the account taken down?
He
you didn't even support us, jackass. Fuck you, man.
Hey,
so then he takes away from us the people who did the groundwork, who got the 20, 30 plus people to report the channel. You know, people like Michael who spoke up, shit like that.
Yep.
Dubs didn't say shit. So Dubs, you by yourself, you ain't shit. You ain't do shit. How fucking dare you? So then he takes the credit. So think about that one. This motherfucker takes the credit for all our work when he didn't want to speak up. Man.
And then he wants to delete me off a friends list.
He threw away 7 years of association with Dom because, and mind you, Dom wasn't even aware of all this stuff. He's just on the show. So when I pressed play and he instantly heard it, he was like, "Yo, that's fucked up. I'm gonna have to remove this cat." And as soon as he's about to go remove him, Dom is already removed, and Dom hasn't even said shit on the situation yet.
Wow, he must have just did it because I'm the one who added him back to the Polygate group. So he must have just did it. Hey, you know what, Mister? I don't give a fuck. You know, and if y'all in this chat and y'all spread the word, I'm not supporting. I like Michael B. I like Detroit Love. I like Nostalgia. I'll support them individually on their channels, but I will never, in all caps, watch or see a replay of Super Game Room Dudes. That's out. On y'all individual shows, I will support it. Nostalgia, if you modding something and you do your own show, I'll support that. Michael B, whatever that show, I forgot the name of your show that you have. I'll support that. Detroit Love, hey, anytime I'm coming through.
Always.
But Dubs, man, fuck you.
Same. Fuck you. I'm gonna end it there. Peace. Have a good one.
Step into the booth, it's time to ignite. Mental on the scene, bringing heat to the night. Specters in the shadows, we rise from the dark. Blackouts the titles, let's leave our mark. Feel the pulse like the city's heartbeat. Blackout, we're turning it loud. Light it up, let the bass draw a crowd. Roots one deep in the echoing sound. We're reborn in the chaos, we wear it proud. We wear it proud. Voices of the past, whispers from the streets. Echoes in the alley where the real ones meet. Count the scars, each story a force. We're breaking the chains with every fierce course. In this moment, we own our truth. Blackout, we're turning it loud. Light it up, let the bass draw a crowd. Roots run deep in the echoing sound. We're reborn in the chaos, we wear it proud. We're reborn in the chaos, we wear it proud.